Atkins, Alta, Florida Design Consultants, and Diane Jones. The team is working on this study, trying to put together alternatives for our the Orange Belt Trail PD&E study. Wyatt will get into the details of exactly what all that is, but I really just want to reiterate that we're building this on your input. We came to y'all first in December, got a lot of great information, trying to translate that into amenities and concepts and alignments, lines on maps that reflect what y'all want to see, and that we hope that we can continue to refine what we're looking at with your feedback tonight and moving forward in the study. Wyatt, to you, sir.
I'll let you. All else over there for squeaking. We're making it work now. Okay. No, great. I know. I'll let you keep it. All right. So we did some quick introductions. We want to talk about the study components. Tell you about the community input that we've had so far, and then get into some of the trail alignment ideas and the potential trail types and features. That's what all these boards are, and Eric's going to walk you through that. All right. So study components. Again, there are 4 major pieces to this effort. Community outreach goes from beginning to end. We are in the alternatives development phase. We've been identifying alignments. We've tried to figure out what kind of types of trails, amenities. We're going to talk a little bit about the segmentation and the phasing here in a few minutes in relation to one of the maps that you have. And then, once we've narrowed things down, then we're going to get into the project development and environment, or PD&E study, and we'll do the engineering and environment to that. So, schedule. This is updated from the one that you may have seen in December. It is on the other sheet that you have tonight. It's also up on the website, which we'll get to. You can see we're in April with the alignment workshops. We are going to hopefully come back out in the summer with an alternatives meeting. Now that is in an official state PD&E term. And when we get to hopefully narrowing down our list of lines on the map, then we are going to have that workshop. And those that are within a certain distance, that's approximately 300 feet, will get a noticed piece of mail, letter in the mail, about that meeting. But if you are if you've signed in, you're going to be on our list. Even if you're not within 300 feet of something, you're going to get told about the meeting, because we will send out all the notices just like we did for this one. Okay, so outreach and engagement. Again, we had over 150 people at the first 2 meetings in December. Probably some of you were at those meetings, at 1 or 2 of them. We received additional comments on the website, both before, during the meetings, and after the meetings. We got 2 last night while we were doing our meeting. We've interacted with over 200 people at other workshops. For example, we came over to the city of San Antonio and had a special meeting with their council, board, right? Yep. Commission? Council? Commission. That's right. I always try to remember, and I get confused. So, the commission. We're going to schedule additional workshops and meetings. Sam has been going out and meeting one-on-one with county commissioners, and those meetings will continue. And then we've got, like I said, over 250 people, probably now over 300, in our database once we put on all those new names and addresses. And that's how we're going to keep people engaged. And we're going to continue, like I said, to look for stakeholder groups that we can go talk to. All right. So when we came in December, we had a line on the map. This is the old railway. Okay, that was the line that was in the Penny for Pasco. It is the line that's on some statewide trail maps, regional trail maps. It didn't mean this is where we were putting the trail. We didn't know yet. We were coming to you to start to get some ideas. We did understand that south of 52, much of that line also has a Tampa Bay water pipeline on it. And so there is potentially access that could be gotten. North of 52, most of it is not in public ownership. We understand that. So, the line has changed to a very broad area. This is now our study area. We have a number of lines. And if we're missing something, and you tell us about it, maybe that line's gonna get that area, swath is gonna get even bigger. And that's what we're gonna show you tonight, to try to figure out how we get from south to north. It is at least 37 miles, maybe longer, depending on how circuitous it goes. We need to break the trail up into manageable chunks. We're calling them links. And they're shown on that other sheet that you have, all the way from Trinity up to Trilby. There are 14 bubbles on the map. It is purely, for now, to help you orient, and when we get to the questions and the voting, it helps you orient where you're focusing. Because some of you might tell us that you care about the Blanton and Trilby area, and you don't really care what someone's doing in Tarpey or Bexley, for example. And that's fine. If you want to weigh in on all of it, we're here to hear it. Eric.
Awesome, thanks Wyatt. So we kind of want to just report out what we heard from you all a little bit in December. We asked the question, what kind of potential trail types are you all interested in? And so this is kind of reporting out what we heard. So ideas that were wooded trails, trails that are would be along a utility corridor, or that would be next to a road, but would be they would be made by asphalt would be the use. And then ideas that were not like so much were trails that had a bike and pedestrian separation, or that were unpaved next to a road. Okay, so taking that information, we went a little bit further and developed trail typologies to help us organize how we're thinking about these various alignments. So they're color-coded just to help me, I guess, be able to point them out and spot them on the map quickly. Over on the left side, those we marked as yellow, and those are trails that the alignment would be off-road. And so the right-of-way needs are a little bit larger for that. The experience also would be a little bit different. You wouldn't be cycling or running, immediately adjacent or really close in proximity to a vehicle or a car. So it would be a little bit different of an experience. The one in the middle, we marked that as orange. It's a little bit of a hybrid typology, so to speak. And it would be a roadside trail, but would be in a rural context. So that would be different than the one on the right, which is a roadside trail in a more of a suburban or urban context. So we differentiated color code wise, and you'll see that when you look at these maps. Some of the options for alignments would be in yellow, some of them will be in orange, some of them will be in red to mark the different typologies. Okay, and this is also a reporting out opportunity. We presented, this is actually what we presented last time in December. We wanted to gauge the public on what types of amenities and features you all would be interested in seeing along the trail. So we presented a bunch of different pictures, and takeaways were trailheads. That was viewed as something positive. We actually produced these renderings in preparation for this meeting, so these are new, and this is kind of helping us visualize what would it look like to have a trailhead, and a way to have great access to the trail in specific areas. Other things that people liked were water fountains. That kind of probably entails full-on restroom facilities. Also, wayfinding was listed as something positive, so you kind of know where you're going, you know where you could go if you went on the trail for a couple more miles. Folks did not actually like public art. That was viewed as something not as positive, and lighting was also viewed as something not that positive either. That might be just because of the nature of the county and not wanting as much light pollution. Potentially, also, I think a lot of the trails close at dusk, so that's probably reflecting that in that choice right there. Okay, this slide, we also have a board that represents this, but you'll see if you look on the maps, we do have call-outs for minor and major crossing improvements, and we kind of just wanted to give a context of, hey, what are we talking about when we say this? So for minor improvements, that could be just like restriping or putting in, modifying the signal a little bit. But for more major crossing challenges, we highlighted that because, this is a 37-mile corridor. We're trying to get over or under I-75. That's like a major crossing. So we mark that and call that out on the map. All right, I'm good. Okay, so this is what we presented last December of different locations for these potential trailheads. We didn't produce renderings for all of them yet. But we wanted to give you all a taste of what they could potentially look like, and so I wouldn't, draw any conclusions necessarily if your favorite trailhead doesn't have a rendering yet. But those are the ones we presented last December, and I think the next slide, honestly, is just what we introduced here. So you can just take a look at it in person here when you're coming up and looking at the boards. We can go to the next slide too. Okay, so this map, we're just kind of using it as an example during the presentation for how you can interact with all of the map series here. This one actually is a call out. That's a blown up version of one of the maps that focuses on San Antonio. And you can see kind of as I was talking about the different typologies, you can see them represented here on the map. So you have the yellow typology that's more rural in nature. You have the orange one as well as the red ones, which are going through historic downtown San Antonio. And so you'll have call-out boxes, and those, I encourage you all to read it because there's actually a lot of detail there that gets into the benefits of that alignment, but then some of the drawbacks as well, or the challenges from choosing that alignment. So as you look and make your decision about what you would like to see, I would read those boxes, and it provides some additional information. So basically, we're trying to figure out, like, what set of alignments would you like to see? And you may have opinions more focused in on one of the particular maps that is in your area. You may have a vision for what you would like to see in the entire county. And you also can pick. You don't have to be like, I only want an off-road trail throughout the entire alignment. You could choose a portion of it would make sense for it to be the yellow color, or maybe the orange color, or the red color. And you can put together what you think would be the ideal trail alignment. So that's kind of the task at hand tonight. We really wanted to hear from you all about what you would like to see. Okay, and so as Wyatt said, this is kind of trying to tie in. Okay, what does this spread? What does this sheet actually show? So it does call out the particular segments or links to try and make it a little bit more digestible, because it's kind of hard to think about, hey, this entire 37-mile corridor, what would we like to see happen? So we broke it into chunks to make it a little bit more bite-sized. And so if you look on your map, or you have this box in your hand, if you flip it over, there's opportunity for you to fill out like what you would prefer and what you would not like to see. So please rate your preferred routes.
And those are on the boards, so when it says like opportunity, what is that, 9A, 9B, and 9C, you could come to this fourth board here in Trilby and see opportunity 9C, 9B, 9A. And so it would help you to understand which ones you might favor or not favor.
Thanks, Wyatt. Yeah, and there's other folks here that have worked on putting the maps together. So if you have a question or you can't find where it is, and I'm just, talk to us and we'll make sure you can see where it is. Okay. Okay, that might be what I have.
And you got one more.
One more slide. Okay. Oh, thanks. Okay. So last December we presented, when we were doing these public meetings, we showed a story map, which basically is a series of maps that are hosted on the website, which talks through the history of this project, the history of the rail corridor, and some potential ideas of what the trail could look like. We wanted to highlight that tonight because we actually updated it for these set of meetings. So didn't want you to think that if you'd already looked at it, you've seen everything. We did update it to show that we're looking at an expanded area, a study area, and not just the historic rail corridor, as we're looking and trying to investigate where this trail should go. So just to check it out again, we'd love for you to take a look at it.
Okay. Now, next steps. We're going to take all the input that we've gotten tonight, also input that we'll get over the next few weeks on the website. So if you have friends and neighbors that weren't here tonight, you can tell them about the website and they can go on. You give us a couple days, we'll get the maps up, we'll get the PowerPoint up, and we're going to figure out how people can do the voting on the website. We're going to continue meeting with groups over the next month or two. We're going to also start to shortlist, hopefully, hone down those options so that we can decide by the end of May what we're going to study further. At that point, we're going to figure out what are those links, and they may adjust a little bit, and start to prioritize what might come first, second, third, what might be 15, 20 years away, if at all. And I did neglect to say this earlier tonight, but when we do the PD&E study, which we're going to start doing once we've done that, we get into the environmental screening and identify preliminary right-of-way needs, there is always a no-build option. So in any of our segments that we have, there will be a no-build option. Is it possible that we would build 25 miles of this, but not the other 12? Yes. So we will then have, when we have the narrowed down list, we will have that alternatives meeting in the summer. We will have those people that are adjacent to to those potential alignments will get notice in the mail. And like I said earlier, the rest of you, if you're in the database, will get a notification just like you did for this meeting. Now, I do see a couple hands, but we're going to ask that you guys come up here and talk to us for questions one-on-one. We can walk you through any of the maps or boards. Take your comments. There are, on the forum, there are places where you can write your comments down. You also can, if you go on the website, next link, or next slide, sorry. If you go on the website, orangebeltrail.com, or use your phone and get the QR code right now. There's a couple of menu options there. One of them says contact. It has Sam's contact information, my contact information. It also has an opportunity for you to make a comment. We get an email record. As soon as that happens, it goes to Sam, myself, and Diane. And we've been combining all those and keeping track of all of those comments. So you have the opportunity to come ask us in person right now, one-on-one. You have an opportunity to write it down on the sheet of paper, and you have the opportunity to put it on the website. Sam, anything else you want to close out with? No. All right, come on up.
Yeah, thanks for coming.